Hey guys, Sunstreaker Hozzy here. Welcome back to another live stream where, yes, as always, talking. I would say the hot topics Transformers Earth Wars, but I'm sure you've seen there's one big hot topic that is today's stream. So I'm sure that most people are aware. Oh, someone said it's really loud, so let me just. Oh my God, so loud. There we go. Is that the one? No, Mike. Hang on, did sort this out. Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, God, yeah. There we go. Okay, cool. Sorted. Okay, should be sorted. Cool. So, sorry. Let's start again. So, too low now. Someone's saying too low. Is that too low? I think that's alright. Anyway, welcome to the stream, guys. So, yes, usually it's hot topics on Earth Wars, but today it's one hot topic for Transformers Earth Wars, which is the big update, which obviously got dropped yesterday. So I'm sure there's plenty of questions from people. I'm sure there's plenty of people a bit annoyed by the update for different reasons. Some reasons I understand, some I don't agree with. But as you can tell by the thumbnail, I have got Dale, the community manager for not SpaceX, but Yodo 1, but maybe it's not Yodo 1 because it's under a bit of an NDA. But anyway, yes, we have got Dale on the stream today, guys. So just so Dale's talking to me in my ear, but just so you know, Dale, they can't hear you right now. Cool. Yeah, Dale's muted, but he's talking to me about what I'm saying. But anyway, is it quiet still? It needs barely hear you. Let me just I'll change that up again then. Is that better, guys? That still sounds a lot higher. Is that alright? Let me know, guys. I want to get it straight and get it right. Let me know. Very loud. I know what some people are saying very loud. Some people are saying it's not. I don't know. There we go. Was that right? Wow, louder. See, some people are saying I can hear you fine. Someone's saying, wow, it's loud, very loud. I've sorted it. I've sorted it. It's fine. Good. Okay. Apologies. I've had to do a bit of a messing about with my normal settings because obviously we're doing a bit of an interview and I had to change the camera as you can see. So apologies, guys. Can hear you just fine. All right. Cool. No, I don't, Dale. You're right. Anyway. Let's say some hellos in the chat. Let's see who we've got. So we've got Ricky Lau, we've got William Wilkinson, we've got obviously Trax. Welcome to the stream, buddy, one of my members as well, and obviously a moderator as well. Thanks for joining me. We've got Soldier as well. Go and check out Soldier's channel, guys. We've got Supreme Rules. We've got Stephen Gomez, one of my members and moderators. We've got Odd Bod, who says he's waiting with bated breath. We've got Citrus Huddle. We've got Steve Pierce. We've got Carnage Macarite. Andrew Stevenson. We've got Giga. We've got Blade 19 as well. We've got who else? Who else? Who else? We've got Chris Harmon as well. We've got Lordy in the chat. We've got Jason Rowley. We've got Matty. We've got my buddy Croto as well. Good to see you, buddy, as well. We've got QB Wins. We've got the Wrecker. We've got Spen1403. We've got Patrick Clausen. My buddy Candyman. Good to see you, buddy, as well. We've got anyone else? Let me just make sure. Obviously, then it's just everyone's going like, "What are you doing? Was it's too loud?" We've got Ray Wave X as well. We've got Alpha Trion 1. We've got who else have we got? We've got I think that is everyone. Oh, Joseph Chirillo as well. Dishon as well. QB Wins. I think that is everyone. So, oh, and Vic Ching as well. Good to see you, buddy. I'm actually off in a couple of weeks, Vic. I'm gonna hit you up. We're gonna meet up. Promise you. And then we've got L Prickles. I don't know. There's no vowels in it, so something like that. All right, cool. We're literally going to go for the newsletter as normal. Then we're going to start the interview with Dale. I may pick some questions out, but just to be crystal clear as well, guys, that I'm not going to pick any questions out that are going to be like a bit detrimental, a bit awful, a bit name calling, things like that. If you got any serious questions, and not like why did you nerf these bots? We're going to get to questions like that. But if you've got an actual question about something, then I will gladly ask it. I'll stop in between every so often, and we'll sort of ask some questions from the chat. Cool. Right, let's go through the newsletter. You're just putting me off by now. That's what you're doing there, by the way. They can't hear you, so. So this weekend's event is Alliances and Allegiances. It's a Mayhem event. It's for 5-star Fortress Maximus and Scorponok. Obviously, one binary bonding element as well. I think it's around 70k. Then we've got 80 binary crystals with a chance for a BBE. I think I've got 1 out of 2 events, which is not too bad. We've got a sergeant and a captain rank as well. Still waiting for those major ranks to come in. Then we've got 250,000 Fortress Maximus and Scorponok Spark, 2,500 5-star shards, some premium combat chips, premium shards, 3-star shards, 4-star shards, 800,000 Spark, and 800,000 Combat Spark. So plenty of decent rewards. We've obviously got the rewards scattered throughout, and I think the sort of big sort of like the what would you call them, where the points where sort of rewards change a bit is 40,000. Then we start getting the binary crystal after 40k. You got the sergeant rank at 50k, the binary bonding element at 75k, captain rank at 100k, and then obviously 5-star Fortress Maximus and Scorponok at 125k as well. Lots of questions about Fortress Maximus. Is he relevant? Is he going to be relevant? Better than Metro? Better than Ark? Yet to be determined. Been so many changes behind the scenes. I'm not even sure myself, to be honest. But what I will say is I'm actually not going to compete for this weekend. I'm a bit worried about Ruination and how I level. I want to get to grips with that first in the event, so I know what I'm doing for. I'm going to spend some money. I'm not too impressed with 5-star Fortress Maximus. I would rather use Metro, and I'd rather use Ark. So when 5-star Ark comes out, yes, I will go for Ark because of the acid, because of the damage, but I just feel like Fortress Maximus myself is not quite that good. But that's for another day. But I know the event is this weekend, so I want to give you my quick opinion on that. Not too opinionated. I can't say if it is better or not, but I'm just not sold on it right now. But I've not really tested it either, so don't take my word for it really. Battle zones are not the normal battle zones. So because Dale can hear me, Dale, you do need to change this for the Mayhem events. I'll learn the column or something so people know. But anyway. And then bug fixes, we've got Victory Leo and Tiger Chest are now available on Overload and Demolisher. That's a pretty good move. I know a few people have been saying Victory Leo on some other bots is pretty good. So some good combos I think from that. Skyrain and Galvatronus, sorry, immunity is working correctly, including post-death effects. That's the first I've heard of that to fair, but cool, it wasn't, it's working now. Broadside and 8-face now properly remove existing drones. Didn't know they didn't, but that's good. Fixed crashes related to changing abilities in the Titan tech tree. So I think that's not a Titan tech tree. I think it's actually the Titans. There was a passive ability that if you tried equipping it, made it crash, I think. But I'm not too sure on that either. Scattershot and Leozak no longer gain ability 11 at ability 10. Didn't know that either. That's cool. Waspinator now deals electric damage consistent with Tigerhawk. Okay. Increased disable effect of Sea-Spray and Octopunch explosions. Okay, that's what's a bit of a buff. Fixed inaccurate tooltip values for Smokescreen and Breakneck's G1. Okay, I think it was still working. It's just obviously the tooltip that's changed. Multiple tooltip improvements. Obviously that's been happening behind the scenes for God knows how long now. So just a few more. And fixed an issue where medics weren't healing properly. There's still some reports that's not working correctly, but we'll talk about it obviously with Dale. But I think there's been a few instances where things weren't working before the patch, and now they are working. It just seems a bit strange to people that these things are doing these things. Whether that's the case or not, Dale's going to keep looking into it, obviously, and we will have to wait and see. I know that healers weren't working, but I think they are fixed. But I don't want to go out on a limb and say they are if they're not, but we'll see. Then it's obviously we're receiving many reports from Nerve and Flatline aren't healing properly, which I think they weren't originally. But please keep in mind that acid effects reduce healing, which is why Nightstick is currently a popular outpost combat. But he was popular before the update, so was he not working before? That's a big question. I don't know. I think he was, but maybe not properly. I don't know. And he's put, we're also working on improving the visual effects to make this clearer, which is, yeah, that's a good move as well. Cool. Webstore bundles, the attack pack bundle, to show what that is, but I presume it's cells and coins. 5-star Fortress Maximus stroke Scorponok, and 6% off BBE crystals. That's an interesting one because I was going to compete this weekend for the BBE, but I might get that instead. I don't know. We'll see. But we're always adding better deals with 20% extra loyalty points. That's standard throughout, as well as the occasional free stuff. So yeah, we have some free cells and coins and stuff and crystals. And that can be found out in the web store. Updated and fresh off the press below is the Saga schedule. As always, subjects change. So I think the only thing that's changed really is the Mayhem event at the end of the Saga now says end of Saga event, new bots. I think it said something like surprise or something mad like that. I can't remember now. But that's been put on new bots. Whether what that was has been pushed back or not, I don't know. We know that the primes are coming, but that was a prize. We're not ready. I don't know. But it says new bots, so we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, nothing's in test yet. It is getting closer. I mean, it's 2 weeks. The new bots are not in testing yet, I don't think. So it's a bit worrying that we're 2 weeks to go and the new bots or new content, whatever it is not in test yet. So interesting. And then obviously go and check out your content creators. Obviously myself, Freezius, Soldier, and CF. And then as always, the team stream is going to be scheduled for whenever they can do it. Hopefully we'll do one soon. I do enjoy the team streams. It's good to have a bit of whinge directly at it. At them, isn't it? Rather than just having Dale on my streams, so it's good to have a bit of a bit. I can't even talk today. Bit of a whinge and a moan. Apologies, my throat's still bad. I'm still under the doctors, guys. Still. Okay, right. Let's get straight into this interview because last time I did it, it took about 3 hours. So hopefully it won't be that long because I'm not covering as much. But literally just covering the patch pretty much. But here we go. Cool. Okay, let's see if I can get Dale up now. Try talking now, Dale.
Hello, I'm loading the stream. Oh my god. It's
Cool.
so bright.
It's so
it was
bright.
so bright. It
Let
was
me know
so
if everything's
bright.
working all right, guys. I might change this because
Yeah, I can see myself. Oh my god.
yeah, I'll just look at it.
And my mic is working.
Yeah,
We're on. We're live. We're here. Hello, everyone. Probably not the person you want to see today, but hello. Yes, talking about the end of Endurance. No, I'm not worried at all. You are kind of right though. We did actually delay something that was going to be there, but we're actually going to do a legacy event, which is not going to be Cosmos and Cyclonus. It's actually going to be Trailbreaker. We're going to bring out the 5-star on that weekend because we know there's not much work that needs to be done. And we could talk a little bit about that later, but I just thought we might as well just drop that because we're going to be talking about a lot of mostly not positive things. So we might as well start with some positives, right? And get everybody into a bit of a good mood. So apparently I'm very loud. So you'll have to turn me down. But yeah, Trailbreaker 5-stars coming. That's going to be super cool. We got the clear off today. That'll go into test tomorrow. But we know we've got quite a few other things that we need to focus on as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Cool. Let's have a look at the chat. The Wrecker says Dale. Oh my god, indeed. Lol. I know that's pretty cool. Dartland says Sky, Rain, and Galvatronus is the next 5-star. Probably not actually, because I think by the time we decide the next 5-star combiner is going to be many months from now. So I'm actually going off the record and saying maybe Skyrain won't be the next 5-star combiner because we already plan to release another 5-star legacy near the end of the year, and that's also going to unlock another combiner as well. So maybe not. Maybe he won't be. But this is going to be super fun. I'm super excited to release Trailbreaker because he's just a cool bot and people love him. So Yeah, I already see a lot of Ruination stuff, but we're going to talk about it. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it.
Well, let's just check the levels now, because I think that mine's sorted, I think. Is mine too loud now, guys? Let me know. I've put Dale down a bit, I've put me up a bit. Just make sure the levels are right before we
Yeah.
start. Just to
No
clear
worries.
something up there quick, this is the first for me even. So, it's going to be a legacy event at the end of the event, at the end of the saga.
Yeah, it's going to be a legacy event because obviously we just want a bit more time doing just everything what's going on right now. There's no need to rush anything. Gives us a bit more time as well, and plus Trailbreaker is I don't really want us to sound lazy. He's quite an easy bot to bring in as a 5-star. There's not really much work that needs to be done to him. He's quite a polished product already. And then we can run that on that weekend, and then it just gives us a bit more time to do other things as well, which we should be focusing on right now. We've also got tracks coming in next week, which is going to be super cool. And then we've got also Powerglide and Cyclonus also hovering around that area as well. So yeah, I'm not sure when they're released. Maybe Q will remind me.
And Ultra Magnus as well.
Also, and yeah, I think Ultra Magnus is already in. He's already in the balance patch.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think there's been a bit of complaints about his model, but I have tried to explain that multiple times why he can't transform.
Yeah.
It's just we don't have. Maybe I shouldn't get into it because that's a whole different topic entirely.
Yeah,
but
true.
yeah, there's
We're all
lots of
day,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, the Wrecker saying so the legacy event will still be at 75k. It'll just be like the usual legacy events that we're used to. It's also quite low. It's not going to be like endurance high. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. It's going to be exactly how it has been before. Darkland says Trailbreaker completes Skyrain since Cyclonus completes Galvatronus. Yes, it does, but I just don't want to go on record and say he's the next 5-star combiner because he might not be.
I will. I'll go on record and say that will happen.
No, I don't think he will be. I really don't think he will be, to be honest, because at the
Interesting.
end of the year we're releasing another legacy, which will unlock another 5-star. So, it could be that one because we've already kind of started looking into that one first.
Interesting.
So, I don't think it will be Skyrain. I'm being transparent.
So you heard that first. Defensor will be the next fast tag combiner.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, this is it. This is why the team don't tell me things, because when somebody says something to me, I get a big smile on my face, and it's like I can't hide information very well. So
I know, but we all knew it was either one of them two. They're the two that are pretty much complete next. It's not going to be one of the ones because there's loads of parts missing.
Yeah.
So we knew it was going to be one of them two, really. I mean, we know that Op Max needs a lot of work. So
I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, I've not even spoke to the team how they're going to do it. So I'm just giving you my opinion here. And and for me, it might not even be Defensor because you've still got the train combiner. I forgot his name now. That's really bad of me. Raiden. We've got Raiden, who is also like ready to be a 5-star. You've obviously got Defensor, who will get a legacy bot to complete him, and you've also got Skyrain. And people are always, I don't know, we always get to this thing every year where we review every year, like, oh my god, you released 3 5-star combiners last year. You're going to release 4 this year. I don't know. I mean, that we've probably released 2 5-star combiners already quite fast than we would have liked. I mean, we've done Ruination, we did Computron, we've also buffed Omega Supreme. So we've already had like quite a few 5-stars already this year. So I think we kind of maybe need to. That's my opinion anyway. Need to maybe slow down on them. Maybe enjoy them a little bit more. But I've got no idea what the team are going to do, right? I mean, they might say, well, let's do this before end of Christmas, but who knows? I mean, we've got what's exciting is we've got 3 possible combiners, and it's quite exciting actually. Who would come first? So yeah, I'm quite excited about it.
Just a record, I knew there was a reason. Remember when I said to you, let's do it on Teams? You went, no, let's do it on Zoom. It's because I don't have Pro, so every half an hour it's going to cut out.
I think I do have Pro.
Okay.
That's why I invited you. Right. That's why I invited you, and you was like, "No, let
okay, blame me then. Okay, right. Shall we end this and come straight back on again, and then put it on yours then?
What do you mean end this?
Well, in 8 minutes, I'm getting locked out in 8 minutes anyway.
Oh God!
So you send me an invite. Sorry, guys, this is so unprofessional.
It is unprofessional. He streams every week.
I don't do interviews every week though.
I'm giving it to you because when I'm on stream, people go, "Oh my god, they should know how to stream. They do it every month."
All right. All I'm going to say is I did it last the week with Grind Time, and it worked fine. without a hitch. That's all I'm gonna say because I said to Grind, "This is what we're
Right.
gonna do," and he went, "Right, let's do that," and that's how it worked.
Oh,
So,
I'm not even going to bother do it on Teams. That application can go in the bin for me. No chance. And Cube knows what I'm talking about. So I am going to go and get you a link now, and I'll see you in a few seconds or minutes,
okay, yeah,
however slow you're going to
seconds,
be. 1
seconds.
second.
Let's go. Sorry, guys. I'll get this up and running again. I'm going to end this one and join Dale's. Sorry, guys. Team sucks. I know, but the problem just is like I don't have Pro, so but with Teams you can use it as much as you want. So back in one tick.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm back. Are you back?
No, not right now
Okay, not right now. That's
because
good
my
to know.
camera's not on. Worryingly enough.
We had it perfect as well, didn't we?
We did.
We had it absolutely perfect. I can go through some comment. Can they hear me, right? I can read some comments, right?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We're in now.
There we
There
go.
we
We're
go.
back.
We
We're
are
back.
back. Sorry,
I know
guys.
you literally said on the stream when we started, what did you say? You're not gonna ask me any of the hard questions. Honestly, I'm here for the hard
No,
questions.
no, no, I didn't say that. No, not the
I'm
hard questions. No, no. But what I don't want people being
okay.
bit disrespectful and things like that. And
Oh yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
some
You gotta,
disrespectful things. I'm like, listen, like, I'm all for the hard questions, as you know, and I'm all for people
yeah,
asking questions. But let's keep it,
yeah.
let's
Let's,
keep it light-hearted as such. Nothing wrong with difficult questions, but
yeah. I
when I
agree.
hear things like, oh, these clowns and things like that, I'm like, it's a bit harsh. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that. Anyway, we'll get into it.
Yeah, go
But
on.
let's kick it off anyway.
Go on then. Go on.
So I think the big question is, what made you decide to do this patch? I think.
What made us decide to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, think of how many acid abilities you've got in the game, then think about how many electric abilities you've got in the game. And then think about all the other mechanics that we've got in the game because every effect, every ability is isolated and it's designed in its own way. So you've already got like, I don't know, let's count them now, shall we? Let's go into the folder. I'm literally going into the actual project and counting how many files are in there to just show you, like, how many we got in here? 12,807 just in the effects folder. So you've got all them. You've got many. They're all built in different ways. Acid will tick in different effects. So, for example, I guess the best way to describe this is, let's say, I'm trying to dumb it down as much as possible because it is quite complex even for me is if I've got skids and I drop his ability on a building, that ability might be set up to tick every 0.3 seconds, which is like every third of a second, right? Or every 0.3 of a second it's going to tick. But then I might drop another ability, an acid ability on it, and it might tick every 1 second. So actually, the project wasn't consistent. Things were just different timings, things were not clear to read, everything just needed fixing. Templates, for example, like hack effects, instead of just using like a standardized template, we would create a hack effect and it would be done in so many different ways. For example, I think the biggest finding of this would be ruination. You remember when we fixed that he wasn't like I think he was like wasn't stunning buildings or was he stunning buildings or he was going through the anti-stun. Now with templates that doesn't happen because everything is following the same rule set. You're basically saying I'm going to make 100 variants of these all at different seconds and they're all going to follow the same pattern, the same rules, same tags and everything. Whereas before for Ruination, we probably just built something, didn't check how the stunt actually worked in the game, and then players will go, "Oh my god, you've changed this, yeah, because it's broken," and then they go, "Well, you should have fixed it 2 years ago." Well, okay, because we're making so many different effects in an isolated area, we are making mistakes. So the whole point of this patch is, let's make templates, let's make less mistakes, let's have less bugs, and clean up the game. And it's not just that. I mean, all the visual effects, for example, if you throw acid on a building We want to see the acid icons. So it's more than just buffing and nerfing. It is a whole cleanup of the whole game. And right now, it probably doesn't look like we're cleaning up the game because there is a few problems with the templates, but we're obviously working really hard to fix that. I'm not criticizing anyone, by the way, when I say that the game was a little bit of a mess. The truth is, this game's been around for 10 years. It's had multiple different designers. Every designer's had its own little, oh, I want to do it this kind of way. And we've never really had a lot, a real like a rule book. This is how it works, this is how it should work, and this is how it should be consistent across the whole game. So that's why we did it, or that's why I was pushing for it. Is yeah, we just want some consistency. I hate it. I mean, I play World of Warcraft. I live and breathe tooltips. Live and breathe tooltips. Where to the point where it's even annoying me. For example, Computron, super hack. What, what does that even mean? I'm reading as a new player, and I'm trying to dumb myself down now as if I don't know the game. I get a combo. It goes, "Oh, I'm immune to hack." Oh, that's great. So why is my bots getting hacked by Computron? Like, I don't know. Why is he going in stealth? It doesn't. His abilities doesn't say he's in stealth. So There was just multiple different inconsistencies with the game that we're trying to address because we don't want players to keep coming back to us and going, "This is an exception. This is an exception." You know, to the point over 10 years, I think we had so many exceptions that we just had to go, "Oh, okay then." Whereas now, this is how disable works, this is how hack works, and it's going to work the same way on every single bot, no exceptions. So when you go, "Why is it being hacked?" And I go, "Well, if they've got hack immunity, it is black or white. It's quite simple to know if it's going to get hacked or not. There's no, oh my God, it's an exception. There's no somebody posting it on Discord, "Why did my team get hacked?" Well, no, there's no exceptions anymore. That's why we've done it. We want to clean up the game.
Interesting. Yeah. So why now? Like you said, it could have been done 2 years ago,
Why
three
now?
years ago, 4 years ago. So
Yeah,
why at this point now
yeah,
have we
why
decided to
now?
do this?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the truth, God's honest truth, really. Why now? I mean, it's better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, if we did it 3 years from now, you said, you might have said to me, "Well, why didn't you do it 3 years ago?" Well, I am. This I feel like I've done enough legacy projects in the game now where I kind of understand the game engine. I understand how things work in the game. People can ask me something and I'll explain to them how it works. And I feel like after a few years of making legacy bots, it was not time to take on a bigger project. It actually started cleaning up the templates and turned into a little bit more. I feel like, yeah, now why not? Another reason why now is, I'll be honest with you, completely transparent. I think Yanis has said this on stream as well. Last year when Space Ape had shut down and gone to Supercell, we were under the impression this game was probably going to go. And do you know how you feel? I mean, nobody will really know how it feels, but do you know how it actually feels when someone goes, "Your game might close"? The whole team. People think that the whole team hate the game. We want all your money. We don't. We were absolutely devastated. Black Friday last year, I think we were basically nearly cancelled Black Friday because we
Yeah.
didn't want to take everybody's money and then refund everybody. It was just it was quite simple to say, "Well, let's not have a Black Friday. Let's just see what happens," because we knew, this whole I can't really say the studio just yet until tomorrow, but we knew that there could be a new sense. And then when we got that new sense, that devastation brought fire in our bellies. We wanted to do more because we had regrets. We had so many regrets when we heard that, this game might go, of everything that we wanted to do, but we didn't. So now we're in this position where we go, "Well, you best do it then because you've got maybe five, whatever. I'm probably not going to work on the game forever. So why not? So why not? We really want to, the team's got crazy ideas as well. Yanis has great ideas and he wants to build big things that he probably has many. I mean, we all felt it. We all felt that devastation. And now it's like this this renewed sense of hope. I mean, you've seen Hyro and Cube lately with the great Live Ops bundles. They probably felt the same, right? They probably was like, "Damn, there's quite a few things that I wanted to try, or quite a few events that I wanted to try, and I didn't." So it's like it's this new hope that you best do it because time goes by pretty quick.
Mm.
So So if you've got an idea, go with it.
So when you sort of set out to do this patch, I think you had a good idea what you had. Did you have an idea what you were doing? Did you just start and then go, "Oh my God, this job's a bit bigger than what I thought," or was it what you
uh,
expected from doing it?
oh, I knew it was, yeah,
A big job.
finding a needle in a haystack. I knew what it was about. There was a lot of things in the game code. There's lots of different things in there, few surprises and things. So yeah, I knew it was difficult, but I've had a lot of help from the team as well. It's not all been me. Like Fabian's been brilliant, Sam's been brilliant, and we've got another designer as well who's been fantastic, who's also been helping. So yeah, it's not been a solo team effort. It's been having these weekly calls where we talk about things, and sometimes we've been having debates. Like for example, is Retgaz revive a revive, was it heal revive, just things like that. But it's been, yeah, we knew the job. We knew it was going to be a big job. But we also know um how good the game position wise could be once we've polished everything up, because everything will be consistent again, and we have to stick with that, as we know, with future designs and things. But if we stick with it, there'll be less bugs, because well, it's quite funny, because when you use templates, if something's broken, everything's broken who uses that template. So thankfully, if you fix it, it fixes it for everybody. And I think this is what kind of this game needs, is more bots using similar things other bots are using if it's the same mechanic. For example, if it's a hack, well, it should be Computron and all the hack bots use the same thing, rather than using it 8 times in 8 different ways. Just use the same thing. So if that is broken, easy fix, we fix everything. So yeah, bug management and thing. This is the goal. Bug management as well. If things are using less things, if it breaks, yes, it's easy to locate because it's like one thing, but when you fix it, it's fixed for everything.
Yeah. So
But
what would you
we
say
want
was
to be
the
in that
hardest
position.
thing? What would you say was the hardest thing about doing the patch?
Hardest thing doing the patch would be what was the hardest thing? Oh God, you're making me think now. Hardest thing of the patch. What was the hardest thing?
The thing that maybe took you the longest to do, or a thing that scratched your brains, or you had the sleepless nights over it, saying, "How am I going to
Do
do
you know
this?"
what?
Or
Do you know what the hardest thing was? It's the tooltips. It's funny. It's absolutely funny, isn't it? That I'm saying that. It's funny that I'm saying tooltips. But when you've got over three, I mean, there was giving me the list today. I think we've made 1,000 tooltip changes, separate tooltips. So 1,000 different separate tooltips, which is absolutely crazy. We basically relocalized the game, which is not what we plan to do. So every single language needs to be. We've basically, it's like we've launched a game and we're rushing
yeah,
to get it localized in different countries. That's how bad it is. I would say the tooltips, because things need to be written in a certain way. Things need to say the same thing. Like if it says you're invulnerable, is it a shield? Yes. Then it needs to state the same wording in every other instance that it's an invulnerability shield, or if it's a hack, it needs to be written the same way in every other single tooltip. But you might say, well, that's easy, Dale. Well, it is when you get like down and you go, oh damn, I didn't think about doing this mechanic, and then I've got to go back and then update all the other tooltips to perfect them. So yeah, that is it was really tough, because it's the tooltips are the bread and butter of the game. It's what the player reads out the first thing when they get a new bot is they read the tooltip, and we all know, and we keep saying, does it do what the tooltip says? So I've tried to make sure that the tooltips are understanding in a way the bot is actually doing exactly what the tooltip says, and there's no surprises. And I would say another thing is all the passives and everything going on with all the bots. There's so many different passives that, yes, we haven't written a tooltip that actually exist in the game. Like Brainstorm has a passive that he revives.
a
It's not
vector,
his,
yeah.
I think I put it in his tooltip. But there's just so many different things. But the tooltips were the hardest. Yeah, there was a bunch of other things, but that was the most difficult. Is making sure wording was consistent.
Okay. Well, also, I think the next one that I'd literally put down on the list, I think people think we're avoiding questions, but not. I've literally got a schedule of what I've put down. I'm trying to
we're
ease you
not.
into it. But I think the big
You
question
just
that
get into it then.
everyone's, yeah,
Just get into
the
it
big
then.
question
Get
is obviously
into
the
it then.
ruination nerf. And
What do you want to know?
I mean, everyone's asking sort of why did you do it? Why to that level? I think that's that's the big I think frustration from everyone in the community. I think is Ruination.
Okay. Ruination needed toning down. We agree on that.
I agree.
I'm not gonna.
I
I'm not
agree.
gonna bring on. I'm not gonna bring you in it. I'm just saying Ruination needed toning down.
Yeah.
We can agree. Okay, we're agreeing on that. It needed
Yeah. Yeah.
toning
Yeah.
down. Now, how far have we gone? We don't know. We will see. And if we've gone too far, I've already come out and said on Discord, our stance is pretty blunt, to be honest. Today we were actually talking about how we can improve Ruination.
Yeah.
Already, we've already opened up the conversation. Will we get a buff in by the weekend? I'm not sure. Maybe we'll try and push something in tomorrow. Things like this need to be tested, so we need to be very careful because it is a big event. But not once did we say, or did I ever post. The thing is, what I'm getting a little bit like crazy about with people is like just posting that we've butchered Ruination and we're going to reevaluate it in 6 months. That's not what I said. I said quite clearly that if there's going to be there's both sides to it. There's going to be content that we've over nerfed. I'm going to say maybe Ruination, and there's going to be content that we've overbuffed. Maybe Blaze AB11 is quite OP at the moment. Maybe we need to tune that down. Maybe we need to bring Ruination up. Look, this is a big patch. This is a big patch. We need data to back up what people are saying. I know. I mean, Trax is in the chat now. He keeps saying, "Well, I told you so." Well, Trax, whatever crystal ball you're using, I need that one. I need to buy it.
Can I just jump in a minute? So,
yeah, go on.
I always say this in my work. Sometimes I have staff come to me and go, "Oh, we should have had more staff on today. It was too busy." And I say it's very easy after the fact to look back and go, "You should have done this." Very easy. And I will also say that when we were testing on live, we were all testing really against our own bases, which doesn't really have Titan effects. So when we were sort of using Ruination, looking at it and going like, yeah, it's alright, it's not too bad. But then once we started doing wars, then we kind of realised that maybe this has gone a bit too far. And we didn't do wars till quite late. Now, I don't think that's all on Dale. We should have maybe thought of that as well as testers and that, and the playtest could have thought of that. But it's one of those. It's one of the. Me and you had a conversation about this, didn't we? We said this. I think next time we need to test just in wars, get them in early, and then start. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
It's the first balance patch. There's going to be mistakes made. I understand that, and I'm sure the next one will be a lot smoother and a lot better. But mistakes do happen, and I think it was taken too far. Ruination, personally, I think all the combiners are not quite good enough. I think there's other fixes to be made. I sort of messaged you and said like this is a few things that I would change, but it's one of those it's a new thing, it's a new patch, and I get it. And people are annoyed. I understand.
Yeah, and I completely understand as well. I mean, Crotto said it's game experience. How we know. I'm sorry, this is the biggest patch we've had in a long time. There's no experience in the world, I think, that would tell you what would happen straight. It's I mean, we don't really do these patches. I think we have to take that note. But what I will say is, like, I'm not sat here saying we're not going to buff Ruination. I'm sticking to the statement that I said 3 days ago, and that's if we've gutted something, the aim is not to gut something. The aim is not to break something. I'm pretty happy to sit on record and say, because I spoke to the designers, that we will make more changes. For example, if Computron is the only pick combiner in war, he's going to probably get nerfed. Because we're not saying that we're just going to keep nerfing the best content. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we want people to be just playing all combined. We don't want them to be one pick. If there's a combiner who's got like 70% pick rate, probably going to get nerfed because we want every combiner to be played. Like, you're obviously not going to get a perfect ratio, but not having, like, right now, Amiga Supreme was like 0% play rate in War or something, in Prime League. That's not what we want, right? Is a 5-star combiner 0% play rate? We don't want that. I don't think the players want that as well. So the objective is to make all the combiners playable. Now, if you're telling me Ruination is not playable, then that's a problem, because that's not fitting with what we're saying. So, he's going to get buffed if that's the case.
Yeah, someone's just put. So, a big question that people ask as well is, so rather than nerfing Ruination, why not just buff all of the combiners?
Then you've got to buff everything. You've got to buff because Ruination was taking out all the bases. So then,
Yeah.
if Ruination is taking out half the base, which is we don't want to, have to happen. Okay, then we're buffing all the buildings. Then we're gonna have to buff all the bots to compensate for that in certain areas for like certain ones who had a job and costs and things. Just nerf Ruination. Like, why go through all of the rebalancing of the whole game for what? Ruination? Just bring him down because the game has been balanced for so long on a certain damage threshold that you might as well just tune him down and then bring all the other combiners up. But again, if we, like I said, if we've over nerfed Ruination, I'm sat here and I'm saying that's not what we want.
Yeah, I think I've got to admit, with this patch, one thing that I have enjoyed is that I've tried different bots, different
Yep.
combinations. I've actually used different bots for different bases. Before, I would have the same 8 bots against the same bases, and then the plan was take out the build bots, use Leo, use Ruination, win. And that was pretty much it. If your bot split, then you had problems. And although I understand people's frustrations with that, because they might have leveled those bots and put effort into them, my sort of reply to that will be that we did sort of say in January it's going to happen. People have had 6 months to think about these things and level other bots. We know that if Leo's going to get nerfed, then people will stop maybe using fire cores. Look at other bots, fire bots, electric bots, things like that. I think there's still change to be made, I think, with things. But we always knew these things were going to happen. Have they gone too far with some of these things? Yeah, I do think so. But that's what the balance patch is about, though. It's about trying to get it balanced.
Yeah,
And some things will swing the other way, some not. I think there's some things that weren't buffed enough. I think there's some things that have been over buffed. I think there's some things that have been over nerfed. I think there's some that have not been nerfed enough. And honestly, I think Beachcomber's not been nerfed enough.
Well, I mean,
mad as it sounds.
Let's not talk about Beachcomber because, yeah, I mean, when people haven't played a patch when they you've gutted Beachcomber because he's like, Beachcomber is just problematic still, which is not what we wanted either. I mean, we've taken 8 mechanics away from him and he's still top tier.
It's more his health now, though. It's more just his health. It's not the reflection's not that bad. Everything else. If I'm honest with you, I think. Yeah, I do. But then I think that what you need to do is, I think we need to remove Jazzy. I really do. But then buff him. And then buff the bot. I really do. Not his health, but buff the bot himself. The hack range or something like that, hack duration, and make him a problem still. Because I think without that health, is not a problem at all.
No.
It was the reflection and the health and all the cheers.
He's become this he's become this combat who's had this role in the battle of just holding bots, but I think he just does it too long. That's just our take on it. I'm just reading some of the comments because I know we were talking about Ruination and we're diverting a little bit. I do want to address some comments because I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring the chat. So let me just quickly scroll up. Unless you want to pick anything out as well, if you want to see anything. I just want to.
I'm sort of like picking them out while we're talking, basically.
Cool.
And all about Phil sort of put there, and this is the point though, is put every bot should be equally desirable. Don't make the best ones as used as others. So, yeah, that's correct. I mean, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen where everything is equally as desirable. But I feel like if you're seeing Ruination in 90% of wars, yes, he does need a nerf. Plain and simple. And you can't just buff every combiner because then defenses are useless. So you've got to bring Ruination down to not 30% of his damage and health, but 30% use rate maybe. And then have Omega Supreme at 20 and Compass on at 20. And when you've got all these combined and some at 10% and 15%, then you've got a good balance. But if you've only got 2 combiners at 50 and 50 and all the rest at 0, well then, sometimes it might mean buffing the other ones. Sometimes it might mean nerfing the other ones. And people going like, oh, don't touch Beachcomber. I've literally just said you need to nerf his health, but improvement every other way. Because now I feel like it's been changed to just a health monster. And we don't want that either. We don't want just pounding on a bot constantly. We want it to be an actual good bot, whether that's on attack, whether it's hacking, whether it's on defense. And some bots do have to be like health monsters, like the warriors. But he's not a warrior. He's a special bot. So that's where I sort of stand on it.
Yeah, and I mean pre-patch as well. He had more health than a warrior. I mean, what? bit weird. Also special, and he's got more health than Optimus Prime. I actually have my opinion, not anybody else's, but I actually feel like Optimus Prime should have the most health out of all the specials, and no one should be above that. And if we have to raise Optimus Prime, so be it. But I feel like he is the leader of the Autobots. He should be one of the highest, if not the highest special bot. But that's another conversation. I'm gonna ask. So Darkland says the data download didn't look like the biggest patch ever. Well, a little bit of a insight for you is all the bot abilities and everything like that, they're all done by text files. So a lot of the game design stuff is actually done by just editing text files and things. I know that sounds really weird when I'm explaining it, but when you make like 1,000 changes to text files, it's not going to be a lot anyway, but in a game sense, it is a lot. So yeah, because most of the things were, changing numbers. Most of the things were just making new effects and things, which are just text files anyway. So yeah, from your side, a download wouldn't show. I mean, we're not adding any models, we're not adding any big images. Like these are all big things, for download and things. I'm not doing any of that. So let's see. What about events? Maybe that should be considered as well, not just war. Yeah, well, I mean, we're considering it absolutely. We know how much people use Ruination. This is what I mean. Like, right now, I would say we're in a AFK reflection period where we're fixing bugs, and we're looking at how things are performing. Because, like we said, when we release the patch, if we've over nerfed something, we're gonna fix it. We don't look. I mean, I use Ruination. I'm not saying because I use Ruination, I don't want him gutted. I'm just saying that we don't want to gut Ruination. In fact, you know what? The perfect scenario for me would be, Prime League player. Sorry that I'm using you as an example. You go, oh no, I just fat fingered Omega Supreme. Oh well, he's pretty good. Oh, I just fat fingered Computron. Oh well, he's all right. He's not like bad, but he's all right. He'll do a job. And I think that's all right, I don't want like the feedback right now is I don't even want to touch Ruination in war or an event. Then I think that's a problem. So
Yeah.
I think that us and the player, I think we agree. I do actually think we all agree with that. I just think we just need a bit of time just so we can reflect and make some changes because we're just focusing on a little bit of other problems. But I think that we are in agreement. I do think we are in agreement. That's our stance. That's what you're saying. So I feel like we're in agreement.
Yeah, I mean, sort of hitting on what you sort of just said as well. I feel like balance would be going into a war and using at least three different combiners in a war. I can
I
see
mean, if you
myself using
did a
Computron in
yeah,
war
but
now. I can see myself using Mega Supreme. I can see
yeah, but
myself
if you
using
did that, that would be
Volcanicus.
great.
So
Yeah,
we've
but
got
if
at
you did
least
that,
three,
great.
but then I think we
Yeah,
need
but
to bring the rest up. So I think Ruination is kind of down there with the likes of Magna Boss and all the 4-star combiners, but Ruination's a
yeah,
5-star. I
yeah,
get that though.
but if that's true, that's a problem based on what we've said.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I'd like to bring to the conclusion to conclude that if Ruination is gutted, is the worst combiner, is not being picked in war, or has ruined events crazily, it's going to change. It's going to change. Now, I can't tell you what's going to change.
Yeah.
I think there was talk today about altering maybe range, making him have more range, but then we know he needs to just stay alive a little bit longer. So I mean, we've just tweaked Volcanicus because we had feed. In fact, to be fair, yeah, we tweaked Volcanicus when maybe we should have just held on him a little bit. But we thought, what the players are saying that we should buff him, so we did. And also, um, with Ruination, you're also giving us bad feedback about it. So that's something else we're going to look at. So we're going to address it. We're definitely going to. I mean, I don't want to say we're definitely going to address it. Like if what you're saying is true when we see it, then we revert back to what we said in our announcement,
I
which
think
is
it
we
will.
don't want to go. Yeah,
I
look, if
mean,
you're making the prediction that that's going to be true, then I'm going back to my first statement that when we release a patch, if we've overbuffed something, that is coming down, and if we've overnerfed something, that's coming up. Simple.
I think that. So me personally, I used Ruination 100% of the time. I used him for wars. I used him for events. I used him for resource raiding. 100% of the time. I didn't use any other combiner. This last war, I haven't used him at all. I haven't touched him. So I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it speaks volumes, but it also tells me we don't want a combiner to be 100% pick rate in the war. We don't want people to just go, I'm just going to use ruination for everything. Yeah, I mean the stance should be, yeah, you can, but why didn't you just use a Amiga Supreme because he's better for this base? I think that is a good stance to have. Or or Computron or Volcanicus, not because they're a better combiner, just because they're better for the base, and I think that's good.
So another question that I saw in the chat, it said, why such a big update? Why not do small incremental updates at a time?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. This was pretty big, of course, but we changed a lot of templates, which can't just be you can't just do an incremental update on templates because this is the core part of the game. So sadly, we couldn't.
Okay. Could you not have done, say, combiners first, and the beach and Leo and obviously them little nerfs first, and then looked at the thing, then the tooltips next, and then gone like that?
I haven't really had the time to reflect on the patch overall to know what I would do better on. So I can't really give you an answer to that. I'm not copping out. It's just since the release of the patch, I've not sat here and gone, what will I do better? Not had that time to reflect. It's just been trying to get the patch in the best state possible.
Yeah.
I think we're nearly there. I'm going to push out maybe the last few fixes tomorrow, but I feel like we're getting close to now being quite, really stable anyway. So I feel like we're close, and then we'll have our own reflection period where, yeah, could we have done anything a little bit earlier? Could we done the tooltips a little bit earlier? Could we done the templates a little bit earlier? So yeah, these are all valid points, and definitely something that we're gonna discuss and think about for the future, because this won't be the last balance patch, of course. Um, but I don't think we're gonna ever get to the scale of this balance patch. I feel like this was really going underneath the game's bonnet, or trunk, as they say in America, to really edit some parts that needed to be polished a little bit. And I don't think we'll be going there for quite some time now.
Yeah. I mean, some people sort of, the big concern is this weekend. I think that was a bit
Yeah.
of a problem. That if we would have done it last week as scheduled, it wouldn't be as big a deal.
Mm,
But obviously,
mm.
we've got a big Titan event this weekend. People use Ruination in that way. Other combiners, I don't think are going to be as useful, which obviously means that people might have to drop down to those zones. It means less points. It means more money spent. I think that's a big point that people making about this weekend's event. Like if it was another 500k event or something, I think people would have been like, I can get round it. But I think it being a mayhem event and a big event and an essential piece of content, that's where frustrations lie.
Yeah, I think that's something we're going to be looking at over the weekend. We definitely want to see what the changes have done to the game. Again, we don't want to upset anybody. We don't really want to, like we've not made all these changes to just get more money on weekend. We've literally done these changes to balance the game, clean up the game. It is kind of needed. But we are looking at ways where we can make the events a little bit easier. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think we're ever going to go back to the way it was, where you're just one farming with ruination in a high zone. I don't think we'll ever go back to that. But maybe we can make it a little bit easier. We don't want it to be a slog. That's why we brought mayhem mode out. So it's something the team's always looking at anyway. I know Cube and Hyro are always looking at ways where we can get the most like beneficial events where people are not getting like bored too quick, and they can finish them with good time and things like that. So that's one for I know Cube and Hyro are already looking at things as well. I don't want to drop Cube on it because I know he's in the chat, but we have raised concerns about different bots and things, and what we could do is like a little event where we could give out a little bit more resources than usual in case people need to change their comps around. So that is a discussion. I'm not promising anything, but it's like these are I'm just trying to make the point that we're not oblivious. We do read what people are saying. We do see what people's feedback is, and we are trying to listen where we can.
Okay. So Stephen Gomez done a super chat, so I'm obliged to ask the question. So it's put, what is the incentive to spend coins or money leveling bots when they can be nerfed at any time?
Yeah, well, it depends how we're going to nerf them to be gutted, because I'm with you there, if you're spending coins or money leveling bots and we're just going to gut them, I'd probably just want a refund, to be honest. But that's not the intention, of course. We don't want any bot to be ruined. We don't want Leo Prime to be ruined, but what he was doing was quite excessive anyway. We want bots to be usable. We want bots to be usable, and what I'm seeing in wars right now is people are still using Leo Prime. People are still using Beachcomber. So I don't think we gutted those two.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm still seeing people use them. Um, they're usable. We'll see. I mean, it's too early. It's still too early, right? I mean, people haven't had time to adapt. Things can still change. I mean, even me giving that opinion, you will say, well, it's only been 2 days, and you're right. It's 2 days. We don't. The truth is, we don't really know what this patch has done. He's brought a massive shake up to the game where we kind of just need to wait and see what needs a rebuff and what needs a nerf again and so on. So yeah, right now I wouldn't worry, Stephen Gomez, because the goal is not to ruin bots at all. If you've got a little bit of a roster there, maybe you'll be happy with some of the changes because I mean, there's gonna be one, seriously, if we do this every like 6 months or something and we're not doing this excessively, there's gonna be a patch where you're like, wow, the bot I leveled and was sat there for years is now really good again. So there's gonna be some winners and there's probably gonna be some losers, on terms of bots because they're probably gonna get rebalanced. So it does go both sides. It does go both sides.
Yeah, I think that's the key point that no bot. I always said this that we obviously I do my tier lists. I have like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D, and E tier, whatever. For me, in an ideal world, everything should be B and C, A, B, and C tier, pretty much, or A and B tier. Should be no S tier. Should be no bots where it's like you have to have this bot in your team, but there also shouldn't be like, oh, don't even bother with this. We need to have it where everybody's sort of useful in some way. Every combine is useful, every titan is useful. And although it's a really hard task to get it all at that point, I think that's where you need to strive to
Yeah, no,
get it.
I agree. I don't think any bot should be just like crazy OP. I don't think any bot should be crazy bad. I think it goes both ways. To be honest with you, I really don't want to pull a bot in a 5-star batch and go, damn, this bot just sucks.
Yes, that's the big point. That's a big
So
point.
that's what balance patch does. I mean, look, we've got all the excessive ones out the way. What's my predictions for the next one? Well, again, it's still too early to say, but I feel like from this point on, I feel like we'll just be making small adjustments like buffs. I feel like the majority will be buffs and nerfs because we've got into a position now where
Yeah,
where we've got most of the crazy ones out of the way. Sorry, but I think from this point on, we're probably looking at more buffs and nerfs now. But it depends what I mean. Yeah, we're gonna have a small patch in a few weeks where we bring some over buff content down. But yeah, I
I
think we're
mean,
more looking at buffs from this point on.
I don't want to cause mass panic, but I think there will be two nerfs. I think I do.
Two more nerfs.
I think there's two, but I think
I
there's a lot
probably
of
not.
buffs that could be done.
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna have. I just want people to understand that we're gonna have patches like this, and I feel like this is like a bit of a learning curve for me. But I also
Yeah,
think it's a learning curve for everybody else as well because we're gonna have a patch where we probably go too far with a nerf. Like I don't want to say the combiner, but maybe we do it to a bot as well. And then maybe after a few weeks we have to go back and fix that. But I feel like this is what we're going to show you how this is going to work out is if we do something too bad, we're going to show all of you that we are going to stick to our word and we're going to if we've over nerfed it and we've gutted it, we are going to go back on our word and we are going to rebuff it. And if we then the buffs are not too, so for example, let's just say Ruination. Let's just say in a week he's absolutely god awful. God Neptune, he's god awful. Yeah, okay, you can run with that, whatever. Let's say we buff it and it's not enough. We're going to buff it again. Like it doesn't stop just after that. We've said we're going to relook at it. I feel like that's balancing, right? I feel like you're always playing with the numbers until you get it right, and I feel like that's what we're going to have to do until we get it right.
yeah.
And we're
Um,
committed to doing that. We are committed to doing that. By the way, we are going to do it. We're going to do it in a few weeks. Um, Yeah, Darlance is saying don't need a week for that statement. Maybe we don't, but we'll probably learn a lot from this weekend's event as well. On Monday, we probably know what we need to be doing.
Yeah. So also we touched upon on Ruination. We
Yeah.
touched on sort of Leo, a bit on Beachcomber.
Do we have
Um,
any more questions on Ruin before we move on? Because to be fair, Ruin is the big one in the community,
yeah, that's
and
the big
I want
one.
to make sure that I am addressing everything with Ruination and trying to let you understand what we're trying to do. Um, Agent says, why don't you just say you guys need more money so we'll nerf all bots that you guys already spend money? No, there's like when we look at nerfing bots, we don't go, right, what have we made the most money from? Let's bring them all down. That's not how we buff or nerf bots. I'm sorry, but when you open the App Store, do you go to the pay to win section of to download Transformers Earth Wars? Do you go to the casino category or do you go to the strategy category? Because when I went onto the App Store, I went into the strategy category, and strategy means everything should be kind of balanced and nothing's crazy OP. And it's a strategy game. It is a strategy game. And maybe we have forgot some strategy because we've been just using things that just blow up things in a matter of seconds.
I do agree with that. I was having a conversation with someone, and someone said like it's fun again to try and work out strategies. That's one good thing about the patch because we were talking about what combos you could use, what bots you could use in what way, and things like that. Whereas, like I said, I'm all on board because that in terms of these nerfs because it was too easy. It was. It was take out the build bots. It was use Leo Prime, clear up Ruination, base down, and
Yeah.
the only problem was Beachcomber. And the amount of times that I messaged you and said, Beachcomber's a joke. This is absolutely ridiculous. I just had 5 bots pounding on him. You can't have this. If I'm struggling with it, then God knows what lower
Yeah,
players
but
are doing.
do you know what? I have this chat with Yanis. We go, oh my God, there's a HQ18 in Junction. How are they stopping Beachcomber? I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do a debuff. On the pre-patch, I need to do a debuff in Junction. If you use Beachcomber, instant die. Like, come on. Like, don't use Beachcomber in Junction. But I do want to say one thing. Matty says, can you share data on the use so we can evaluate the changes too? That is like exactly what we want to do. So, for example, when we come to the December one, it would be nice if we could publish usage rates of everything and then the changes we're making so people can go, oh yeah, they've made this change to this combiner because they've got an 80% pick rate. So that's why we've tuned them down a little bit because we don't want a combiner to be, we don't want players to be one dimensional with certain bits of content. And I think that strategy, if you ask me, I do think that strategy.
I
I
do.
really do.
I will listen. I'm gonna annoy some people with this, but I'm gonna say this. If you think that Leo Prime shouldn't have been nerfed, then you have no idea about this game and balance at all
I mean, I
because
mean,
it
I
was
mean,
ridiculous.
I mean, even the
Beachcomber was
people.
ridiculous. Ruination was OP. Blue Streak was a bit OP, but Leo Prime and Beachcomber were ridiculous.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
there is one comment that I would just want to pick up as Glenn says you seem constantly focused on war players, not everyone is. I feel like we need to be treating events and war as two different things. So when I'm speaking about war, I'm speaking about like the balance in war. I feel like balance in events is probably something else. So please let's separate the game a little bit. Is war and events are two different things. You play a mayhem event way different than you play a war, way different, for example.
Yeah.
I think they're just two different things. If we need to make little changes in events, I think live ops will probably bring that up. And yeah, one's a competitive area, one is not. So let's split them. Let's just talk about them as different areas. I understand that people want to if complete events faster than something. Obviously, it is a competition. That is why I'm kind of talking about war a little bit more than the others because we're talking about balance, and balance in a competitive area is very important. Whereas I think events is just a completely different topic entirely. Sorry.
It's okay. Just lost a bit of internet there for some reason, weirdly, but it's been stable again.
Sorry,
It's
yeah.
fine. It's not your fault. Don't say sorry for you. It's my internet thing for some reason. I don't know.
Somebody's
Um,
saying thank you for showing up. Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to answer questions on the balance patch. Honestly, I was saying to Wazza really, I was like, I'm actually quite excited about coming on tonight. Because I just want you to understand our thought process as well. Is of course we're listening to you. Of course we're giving you areas to put things, but so sometimes it's just like it would be nice if you also gave us your ideas about how we can change things as well. For example, posting in a negative channel, Ruination is trash, actually tells me nothing, to be honest. It actually tells me nothing. And I will call out one person who's done this really well. It's someone called Action Whale on Discord. Like he posted, like, I hate Ruination, and this is why. And it's like, wow, I love it. I actually like it because he's telling me why he hates it. He's giving me points why he hates it, and he also like asked if we could do different things. And I just think that is the perfect way to give feedback. Is yes, tell us you hate it, but tell us why you hate it and then what
yeah.
you would do better, because we're actually quite interested in how you would fix things as well. So we can take all those ideas, take them to our design team and go, these are the players' ideas. Is there anything that we can do? Dartlancer says, I give them 3 recommendations for Ruination. Great. This is a great start. I actually encourage it because we're not here to kill your content. I'm saying again, we're not here to kill your content. We're here to clean up the game. We're here to make the game better. We're here to settle the game for the next 5 to 10 years and how many more years it's going to be with or without me. And we also don't want to cut your content. So can we all pull together and actually be on the same path? Because I feel like we are. I just feel like there's a mismatch that we have this idea that we're just going to take all your, content that you use for years and you're never going to use it again. That could not be far from true.
Yeah, I think what frustrates me is when I see comments like, "Oh, they're just doing it for us to spend more money," but they're doing it for alternative reasons, or I don't know. Like it baffles me. I've never said that. I've never sort of said. As in, I've been frustrated at the other people in the chat about other things in the past. I have, and some people sort of said, "Oh, I'm being diplomatic." It's not about being diplomatic. Literally, in the past, I have been quite aggressive in terms of you guys saying how poor the content was and things like that. I'll say it as it is, but I understand how much has gone into this patch, and I understand that mistakes can be made. And I've always said that listen, mistakes will get made in the game. Bugs will happen in the game. It's always going to happen. Listen, we're not going to do this patch and then go, oh, from now on forever, there's going to be no bugs. There will still be bugs. But I've always said, as long as they get fixed quickly. And literally, I hit you up when you said, listen, we're not going to wait 6 months. It might take a few weeks. It might take 2 or 3 weeks. We'll get it sorted. Right, great, fine. I'm happy with that. I think Ruination needs a buff. I really do. I agree with most of the comments. Some people are saying reverting back. That's not going to happen. It's going to be somewhere in between. Where that is, who knows? But, we've got to accept that you need the data for that. And you know what? If you don't like using Ruination, don't use him. Don't go and use him.
Well, I mean,
and that
that's a
will prove a
big part of
point.
the data.
It
Yeah,
proves a
that's
point.
also a bit,
And
that's
then you
also
go,
a
oh
part
my
of the
god,
data.
yeah, we've gone from
Yeah.
everyone using 100% of the time to literally 10%. We need to buff him. And it will level out, guys. It will level out. But you've got to give it a bit of time. And I'm fine with that as long as it's not something stupid. And I've always said, people said, yeah, but you're doing this now after I've had this bot for 2 years. I agree with them. It's took too long to solve it. We knew it was a problem a year and a half ago. But like you did say that you weren't sure the game was even going to be here. So I kind of understand that you're not going to do these massive changes and invest in the game so much if you think that the game is going to close down. So I kind of get that.
Yeah,
But for me, I feel like we have a good relationship. We're quite honest with each other, sometimes to a fault, because I'm quite honest with you and say, this is really rubbish, Dale. Like, what's going on? And I think it's important you have them honest conversation. You've always been honest with me, and you've said to me, listen, we're trying to do this, and we're going to try and fix it in a few weeks' time. And I've gone, right, okay, listen, in 2 months' time, if it's not fixed, then yeah, listen, I'll be on their side going like, this is a joke.
I agree.
You said it'd be a few
agree.
weeks. It's been 2 months. Why is it not fixed? And I'll be on their side. But you've said it'd take a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. I've gone, right, fair enough. Let's give you a benefit of the doubt, and let's let you do that work.
Yeah, and I mean, where is that comment? Godskin says, nerfing Ruination, God Neptune, so you can spend You can speedrun events and spend cash on fuel cells. Now move SA. No, actually, the actual fix for mayhem mode is, to be fair, yeah, we're always quick to criticize, but we never look at things logically. Like mayhem mode, for example, you complete the battle 3 times faster, but your fuel cells when you recharge only count for one battle. Really, if we really want to be consistent, we should be changing that to 3 hours because you're doing 3 battles in one. So, do we really make changes to make money? No, we really don't. We really don't. The mayhem mode is more accessible for way more players. It's arguably, I don't want to say it because I haven't run, probably cheaper for some people as well. So no, the changes we make is not all about money. Yes, I'm not going to frown away from it. Like any game you play out there, it will need to make money or it will close down. Thankfully, we're very fortunate. We're not anywhere near that. It's why we were so re-energized when the new company took us over, because they've got a very good long-term relationship with Hasbro, which secures this game for a very, very long time. But the fact is the game needs to make money. So, if you're thinking about tracks next week, go support the game. It's not a bad thing. Support the game, support more content. It's absolutely fine. But no, not everything we do is to make money, because Mayhem Mode wasn't, and that's just one example.
Yeah, I've said this. I've always said, again, quite critical of things, and I've said, don't go and buy this. It's a cash grab. It's rubbish. It's a waste of time. And then sometimes I come out and go, listen, it's brilliant, and I can't fault Mayhem Mode. If you're a spender, it's unbelievably good. It makes it a lot. Sorry.
It's great. It's absolutely great. The team did a great job with Mayhem Mode.
I agree. I agree.
You know what? Bloody brilliant, as I would say in my British voice. Bloody
Do you know what the
brilliant.
funny thing is? Do you remember when Mayhem Mode came out? It was a bit of a disaster. Do you remember the first weekend?
I do remember that. Yeah, but this is it. This is it.
Point I'm making.
This is it.
Next event.
What did we do?
It was fixed.
What did we do? Yeah, I also feel like in these situations, it's how you react. And how we react, I'll be honest, we fixed a ton of stuff in a matter of 2 days. I don't feel like we've got major bugs in the game now. I've just pushed a fix to playtest where people can try out the new fixes, because we do need to PT it before it goes to live. Can't be just clowning loads of fixes onto live, because I might actually break something, and this is a live game, so we're having to test those. But yeah, it's how you react.
Yeah,
it's definitely
agreed.
How you react.
Agreed. Okay, so let's get on to something a bit more positive then.
I just want to make sure we've not. I really don't want to scare.
No, we can come back to it. We can come back to it. I'm sure people can put in the chat. If there's anything missed, guys, put in the chat. We can come back to. But as always, I have had to mute someone in the chat already because starting name calling, things like that. Listen, if you're not happy, I'm glad for you to put it in the chat. Dale's going to read it. Obviously, Callum's there and Cube, and I'm fine with that. But let's not get into sort of name calling, and stupid comments. But buff bots, there are some gems in there. There are.
Is there? I think we could have done more, but we had to draw a line on the patch somewhere. And hopefully we can look at them in the next time. But yeah, I feel like the potential to buff bots is crazy, right? I mean, I have this weird thought that every bot should have their day. Like Cliff Jumper should have their patch. There's a few others that we've not seen in a long time. It would just be nice to just say, you know what, that bot it was that patch, and I played with that bot and I had some great time with it, So that's the dream. This is what a balanced patch can do. If we're actually quite accepting for a balanced patch, we're gonna get patches where, yeah, we're gonna be changing some good content for the better. Like I feel like we've got over. This is the storm. I feel like we're in a bit of a storm right now. It's raining a lot. I feel like the light's not really at the end of the tunnel just yet. We're getting there. But I feel like then, once we get out of there, I feel like we're going to have way more buzz, and we got through all the hard bits. I feel like the next few ones are going to be way more positive. But do you know what this patch has actually generated more than anything is when I joined the game, and maybe people will disagree with me here, is when I joined the game, it's unheard of to even talk about old bots, to be honest. I joined in 2020. That's when Snapdragon was king. And who else was king at the time? I think we just was releasing. Oh, who else was king? I think it was Snapdragon. Snapdragon was just going stealth, wasn't he? Just it's just
I don't
crazy,
know.
crazy bad.
I started
I
leveling,
think
but never really used him that much. But obviously, I
I
think
think
tracks was surely a big one.
what is it 2020,
Surely tracks is
2020.
the main one. Everyone was using tracks, and let's
Yeah,
bring up the FFD
tracks.
because he was OP. He
Yeah,
still
tracks.
is.
Pipes was not the best tank back then. In fact, Pipes was slandered to being one of the worst bots in the game because
Yeah.
this was before all the buffs he got. This was before Warriors had charge and stuff. So yeah, the point what I'm trying to make is, back then it was unheard of that people would talk about bots being buffed, but now we've got this sense in the community that people are DMing me, people are writing tickets, people are saying, "Will you buff this bot?" We've actually come to terms now where it's actually quite normal, maybe, for bots to get buffed or bots to get reworks. Like we never used to do reworks. We've only been starting doing that in the last few years. So actually, I even had somebody talk about, is Optimus Maximus in the chat going to get a rework? Yeah, they get, all the 4-star combiners are probably going to get a rework because they're all probably need a lot of work. And it's why they didn't happen in this patch. So yeah, we're starting to talk about buffs more. We're starting to question: is this bot going to get buffed? Are you going to make changes to this bot? These are conversations that I wasn't seeing like 4 or 5 years ago, and I feel like this is a good change. This is a positive change for the community.
Yeah. So just going through some of them. So I think Chromia was a good change. I think we nerfed a bit too much after the changes.
Yeah, but this is another example,
She's been
right?
buffed down.
She got released. People said, "Well, you've made her trash now." Well, guess what? We went back and we fixed it.
Yeah.
So again, maybe we took too long. That's a good debate, to be honest, that we did take too long. But
No, I don't think
um,
it's too bad. It's no, we've not waited like 6 months a year really, have we? I
yeah,
don't think so.
no,
But yeah, Tiger Chest and the Star Saber combat that can now be equipped with a lot of bots. I've had a couple of people message me today saying, "Oh, I'm going to use Tiger Chest like this. This I've been using. It's actually pretty good. You should try it." And yeah, I agree. Some good ideas around that. So that was a good move. Um, I feel like Smoke Screen's an interesting change. He's changed his utility now. He's almost become a cleanup bot now rather than the way he was used before. Sunstreaker has had a really
yeah,
good buff, so he's really good.
yeah. But all these
Um,
bots, like Sunstreaker, since I've been part of the game, I can never really think of when Sunstreaker was really used a lot. Really, since
when the game first came out, the first
yeah,
year,
yeah, but
that was
this is
it.
it. Yeah, but this is it. This is what we want to do. We want to bring out bots that, to me, Sunstreaker is like a new bot.
Yeah,
Because I've never used him before, and I've had other people message me and go, "Wow, I never knew Sunstreaker was this good." Well, the truth was he wasn't until this patch.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, we are starting to use more bots and different things, and that's why I like it, because Transformers shouldn't be Leo Prime Earth Wars. It shouldn't be Beachcomber Earth Wars. It should be everybody else as well. There was so many, but there was not. When you look at the numbers, there's nowhere way in hell that other bots were getting close to those.
yeah. I mean, we've obviously talked behind the scenes about Skylinks and his problems about walking off. I've made it known about Scouts. I feel like Scouts could do a bit of a buff, and not in terms of the damage and that, but again, they just run off to their death. I don't like the fact that they go in front of the Warriors and just die. I think Snarls had an alright buff, but it's not enough. I know you sort of said, well, the way you see him being used is behind the Warriors to do damage, but I'm just not sold on it. And so I think
Well,
there's
if you
still
play
bots,
properly, if you play properly, I mean, if you put pipes in and you use Snarl's not getting any defenses attacking him because Taunt actually works properly now.
That's a good buff. That's a really good buff.
So,
Just to
so if
just see, people have missed that. I think there's no
I,
talk about that. The taunt was broken for 10 years. I actually did a video on it saying like it was useless. I said to you even, didn't I? I was like,
yeah,
taunt's useless. Like I don't even know why
I,
you're
I
even working on it. And then when you fix it, I was like, wow.
yeah, but
I'm
these
quite
these are the
worried about
things.
this actually,
Yeah,
but
but
it's actually quite good.
I feel like in a month, I feel like people should make an informed opinion about the patch, because I feel like in a month we've probably done our buffs, we probably nerfed a bit of content what was over buffed, probably fixed most of the bugs. So if you are slating the patch, I would say you need to give this big patch like 2-3 weeks minimum
Yeah.
then make a good judgment, because I feel like we'll be there, and I feel like we are close there now. But we haven't done any of the rebuffs, we haven't done any of the renerfs again. We haven't gone through and like okay, we've seen the data now. These are the steps we need to take action. So yeah, there's still more to come, but I would just say, yeah, just hold your thoughts on the patch at the minute. We're definitely going to be better off, but I just feel like people probably haven't. I mean, if you went, to be fair, if you opened the patch on day one and you were playing and medics weren't healing, and you said it was too hard, yeah, I agree with you. At least we know now what the Unicron tournament effect should be: is no bot gets any healing.
Yeah, that was hard. I didn't
because
realise. I
because you
scraped
know
base
what?
one, and I was like, "This is too
You
hard,
know,
Dale." And then it's when I
do you,
realised I was the heels. I went,
do
"I've
you
done
know
pretty
what?
good there. I've done all
Do you know
right."
what? I think we're gonna make a challenge where we do a hard base, like fun challenge, base trial, kind of thing, where you go in and you've got to beat a base HQ18, no healers.
Yeah, I wouldn't do no healing, but I would do no healers.
No healers. No, that's what I
No
mean. No
healers.
healers.
Because
No healers.
obviously
So
I've talked in the past about like should you have a healer or Sandstorm, but Sandstorm is not as good as the healer. Because yeah, they've got that heal
yeah,
bomb and it works the same, but you haven't got that constant healing what a heal gives what a healer gives you. So yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Just a quick question. It did ask a bit early,
yeah,
but obviously we're off
yeah,
on a bit
yeah,
of a chat. So
yeah. That's right.
Michael Nicholson has put I hate the feeling after Ruination came out, if I didn't have him nothing mattered. You were behind. I abandoned others like Volcanicus or Computron, which sucks as a kid. I love Superion and want to use him. I think you will eventually. Like I said,
Well, this
we've
is
said
it. Well,
that.
this is
They'll all
yeah,
get
yeah,
their
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of time a
Well,
bit
this
and
is
all get their use. And, you
yeah,
know, I'm a sort of champion for the players, and people might not think that because obviously in the conversation now I'm agreeing with a lot of things you say. But I am a champion for the players, but I do also understand that things take time. So we're not going to say that Superior is going to be great next week or even this year. It might take 18 months, but we're also saying that, listen, these things will work out eventually. That's the thing. And these nerfs, I think, are a bit too hard. I do. But they will be fixed quickly, you've said, or they'll be improved quickly, and you're not going to leave it alone.
no,
The
no,
bigger
we're
patch will
gonna
come
make yeah,
later in the year, but these tweaks to these things, will change. And I understand everyone's frustrations right now. I get it. But all I'm saying to everyone is just be constructive. You see people going like, I'm quitting the game and things like that. You're like you don't really need to go that far. If you want to quit the game, fine. Maybe you had one foot out the door already, maybe on a lot of players. But if you want to quit the game, then fine. But if you actually love the game and you can see some light at the end of the tunnel and think, you know what, with these changes, X, Y, and Z, and be reasonable about it. When people say revert Ruination, revert Leo Prime, revert Beachcomber, don't be silly now. That's not going to happen. I'll come out on a limb. I'll say it for you. That's not going to happen. I would, if that got reverted, I'd be kicking off, going like, "This is stupid. What was the point in doing this in the first place?" But
it's not gonna happen yet.
yeah, but it will be somewhere in the middle. It will, and I'm confident because, you know,
Yeah,
I lost a lot of faith in some of the apes sometimes for saying something would happen and not happening and promising things and it never coming to fruition. But I honestly can't think of a time where you've said to me, "Listen, this is going to happen," and it's not happened. Time we have a bit of a joke about coming soon about the thing that I did in Discord. Sometimes the time frame doesn't work out, but it's never been like you've said, "Oh, we're going to sort this in the next few weeks," and it's been a year. That's never happened. So it
no.
might say 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, it might be 4 weeks. Hey, but
Yeah, I mean, what
it's
I'll
gonna
say on
happen.
Superior is, there was a lot of criticism in the patch that I read that we didn't really touch any of the 4-star combiners, but that's the point. We, I feel like when we get to Superior, when we get to Defensor, I feel like we just need to approach them like, okay, Volcanicus does this job. He's very cluster based. We've got Computron, who's quite glass cannon, who doesn't, he's got a little bit of stealth, but he doesn't have a shield. We've got Ruination, who should be quite spammy and does a bit of damage, but you've also got to manage him quite well. We also have to think how all the other combiners fit into that area as well. So I feel like when we approach those combiners, we just need to think from as if they're a new combiner again. Like, give them a whole, if we need to, give them a whole new design, or even just like we did with Omega Supreme, we took his bullet ability and we just made it bounce. Oh, I love that. That is another good change to Omega Supreme. But you see what I mean? We're just like, we should more refreshing, more
Yeah,
modernizing the combiners. Like Superior, is if he was released in 2026, what would he do? And that's the kind of aspect that we need to look at it. So yeah, of course, the combiners like Superior and everybody else that's a 4-star, they're definitely going to get their day. I can tell you that much. I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be so cool if we could. I mean, I feel like right now it's quite easy because we've got like 4 5-star combiners. We can kind of like balance it really easy, but it's going to get obviously harder when we get more. There's going to be more balance needed for sure to try and mix it up a bit. But yeah, I'm excited because Superior will be really cool to have as a 5-star eventually because they all are going to get a 5-star eventually.
I think an interesting point is we had a conversation earlier, and someone said, "Why did you do too much at once? It was too much. You should have done less." And we've got people in the chat who are saying, "Well, why didn't you do more? Why didn't you buff more things?" And
Yeah,
that's proves a point that everyone
yeah,
has their own perception on things. Like, you should have done this bot, you should have buffed this. That was nerfed too much. This is buffed too much. I think it's about right. Everyone has their own opinions, but obviously what matters is the sort of the bulk of opinions. The more people that have an opinion on something, then fair enough. I've seen people say Volk's fine. I've seen some people, including myself, saying I
yeah,
think Volk could do a
yeah.
bit of a buff, really. But then there's certain situations of use Volcanic, it's been really good. Same with Computron. There's certain situations of use
Well,
Computron, it's been really good, and certain not. And I think it
yeah,
depends on how you use them in a way, but then we can come into that again. But the point I'm making is that everyone has an opinion on things. You know.
I think the funniest thing I've read about Volcanicus is there was someone in the Discord channel, and I'm not going to say their name. I'm trying to make sure that I don't air them out a little bit because it's a bit my frustration is was saying every day, Volcanicus is garbage. You need to buff. Prime League player wasn't using the shield, wasn't using meteor, just charging in. Well, of course he's going to be garbage. So I
Mm.
think sometimes people don't play with the content correctly. Even when we was testing, people were like Volcanicus. We was also debating. I think like you was at the time. I think I remember watching your stream. Where he was like, do the abilities in this order, and it's better. And then he was like, no, I'm doing it this way. And so there were so many kind of different combinations with Volcanicus, which was also
Yeah.
like we didn't even expect that, but it was actually quite it's quite good. I mean, Cheetah says Volcanicus bad. I concur. I I mean, Darklands is saying Volcanicus takes planning for his abilities. I would agree. Like, I would agree. I feel like, yeah, if you're like, the thing is, it depends what kind of player you are. If you are like Russian Smash, you don't really want to think about it. You don't want to really manage it a bit. I think, yeah, Volcanicus is probably a bad combiner for you. But if you're somebody who's quite a slow style player, who's like has a walk team and things, is quite like does everything quite slow. I feel like Volcanicus is probably perfect for you, right? Because you're always trying to calculate what you're doing next. I'm not saying they're both bad players, by the way. I'm just saying that everybody has a different play style and different
Yeah.
combiners are going to suit different types of players, and that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
balance.
I do think that the combiners need a bit of buff personally. I really do. Just because I found with Volcanicus, if you use the 5-star ability on the launch pad, he still takes a lot of damage. But I understand that once you combine that Meteor 4-star ability with the 5-star ability, he's almost invulnerable. I think there needs to be some
Yeah.
sort
So
of
yeah.
balance there, that it becomes obviously like really vulnerable to then invulnerable, and I feel like there needs to be some sort of balance there, me personally. I think this like 5-star ability needs buffing a bit, really, but then not when he's in
Yeah, but this
Meteor
is
some way. I don't know, like I said, but
Yeah, but we can.
that's how I
I mean,
feel it.
it's just playing with numbers at this point, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
where.
yeah.
But this is the situation we want to be in. Is just playing with numbers. So I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, and then some of the Computron, I feel. Well, I sort of said to you that the hack's great and the 5-star ability was great. It's hard to get them both off because he takes so much damage. So I think that's sort of the key there. I mean, it's just giving him sort of a bit. That's the point. On the launch pad, it takes so much damage so quickly, and you're getting that 4-star, 5-star ability off. But whilst they're doing that, they're taking a lot of damage. So I don't know. Maybe it's something you put in combiners. Maybe I'm just spitballing that for the first 3 seconds of the battle, they don't take damage. I don't know. It's just something like that because it seems to be a pretty problem with all of them that they get a lot of damage right at the start as soon as they get
Yeah,
launched, and then you're sort of fighting to keep them alive. I feel so.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
me personally, but yeah,
that's great feedback. I mean, get it in the Discord channels.
yeah. This is what I mean. Like if you see a problem, I, my boss used to always say to me,
Sorry.
um, my boss used to always say to me, don't just come to me with the problem, come to the problem and the solution, and then I'll tell you if I'm going to do it or not. And that was one of the best sort of learning curves I had. And I say that to my managers now. And sometimes they come to me and go, listen, I thought about this. I don't like this. I think we should do this. Sounds great. It works then. Where people just go, Yeah, that's rubbish. Well, why is it? Like you said, it's why is it rubbish? Don't just tell me it's rubbish. That doesn't help me at all. I'll go, all right then. Okay, cool. Crack on. You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, this is it. I mean, this is it. I mean, the more solutions you give us, the more we know what you want. But like when I go into the, you know, hate to call people out and go in there and then they say, yeah, he's bad. It doesn't really help me. I would just like to know how you would fix it as well because it gives us some great ideas, and you also have great ideas. So we like to listen to you. So please tell us. So yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
Okay. Um, any insight into what the next patch will be? I mean, I don't want to talk about nerfs and buffs because that's obviously going to come. Is there anything else that you want to look into for the next patch?
Um, what do you mean? Well, the mini one or the one in December?
We're in December.
The one in December. Oh, boo. Well, we've done most of the groundwork now, so we don't need to touch any of that. I feel like we'll just be playing with numbers. I feel like we'll just get usage rates. We'll post them. We'll show everybody we're not lying. Obviously there'll be some people who probably say we faked the data, which we went. And and then yeah, I mean, we base it off the usage rates. If something's being used too much, we probably have to tone it down. If something's being used too less, I think it needs to be tuned up. So I think we'll just be playing with numbers, and then we'll do a little mini patch after Christmas, just to rectify most of it. To be honest, because we'd like to do another one, of course. Shake it up again. But this time it'll be less chaotic because it'll just be number changes.
G1s, ability 11s, will we see them come out in like batches or would they
Oh
in
yeah,
December? What's the
I
sort of
mean,
plan with ability? Because at first we sort of did ability 11s only on new bots. So what's the sort of plan going forwards?
well, some bots are going to get legacies, so we're going to give them the full outlook. And then yeah, I mean, I know somebody just asked about the time frame on the 5-star batch. I think we're just going to go for 2 weeks on that. We'll do that with the legacy because the endurance is now a legacy. It's going to be Trailbreaker as we've discussed earlier. In
Hang on,
case
2 weeks.
anybody,
Hang on, whoa. 2 weeks for a 5-star batch.
well, I mean, it's not too many. It's really the bots are quite polished already. We've got Dreadwing in there. We've got Vector and Nova Prime, who we just need to do some small changes on. Who else is in it? Most of the bots are quite polished, so I'm not worried. Callum's telling me off now for probably revealing it. Yeah, but I mean, probably 2-3 weeks on the 5-star batch for sure. Trailbreak is going to be 2 weeks. So
Crow,
I'll be, I'll
Crowtospot,
be,
keep talking.
yeah. I mean, Darlance is saying another legacy, but no, I mean most of them's got. I think we're doing Snapdragon 5-star, I believe, maybe. I think.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, but I did say this was my feedback on
I think you
Snapdragon.
were safe saying like legacy bots and that. I think, and
No, they're not going to be
we
legacy
knew
bots
some
though.
bots are coming in it, but oh my days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean Snapdragon, right? I just
You love Snapdragon, don't you, for some reason? I don't know why, but you
I
do.
like yeah, I like Snapdragon. I said he needs a bit of work, so
I remember you saying that a while back, yeah.
I love Snapdragon. It doesn't mean he's going to be OP, of course. It might get a few buffs in the December patch. We'll see. But no, I mean, yeah, we know we need to do some more. I mean, we know we need to do the 5-star batch. That's going to be super cool. We've got Trailbreaker as well, who's going to be super cool. Who's going to be, I would hope. I think he might. I mean, Cube's in the chat. I think he's going to be $50. I think it's just going to be a legacy event in 2 weeks anyway. So we're going to take our time, work on other things, and yeah, just have a chill endurance. So yes, sadly, no new content per se, but also it's more of a saga where we go, okay, we are re-releasing old content, but that's okay because we're fixing up a lot of stuff. We're also working on a lot of other things, and then we will be able to talk more about what's coming next after that event. So yeah, I think the next 2 weeks is going to be quite chill for everybody.
I'm gonna ask this question because that's got every single tool we do. When's the war rework coming?
The war
This has been
rework,
2 years now, I think,
the
in the
war
coming.
rework. I haven't asked Yanis about it to be honest. It is something there.
Is it
In
still being
fact,
worked on, or?
it is still being worked on in the background. Yanis had a lot of problems with it. We are actually recruiting at the place we're at now for I don't want to say the role, but we need that role to finish the war thing. So sadly,
A
since
war
we've
expert.
not not a war expert, somebody who's like good with servers and things, who, you know, we don't really have that because obviously we've split off from Space 8 now. We don't have the resources. We're recruiting. Um, oh, Callum's giving me permission to mention this one. Yeah, we need a server dev to really get the, you know, the ball rolling. So sadly, I mean, I will be honest, the war update probably has been postponed for the past, like, you know, since we've been transitioning. Transitioning is going fine. We're still moving little bits here and there. And then once we get a little bit more staff that we are recruiting for, we should be show back on the road again.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm not too critical of this patch, because I've been fighting for a long time for some fresh new content. And this
Yeah,
has
I mean that's
freshened
what
up a
people.
bit. Even though it's a negative that's been nerfed too much, it has freshened my war team up, freshened my sort of needing for leveling bots and things like that, and looking at different combos. So it has sort of invigorated me to try some different things and new things. So that's why I'm quite happy with it that way. I'm not too concerned that I can't use Leo Prime anymore and Blue Streak. I'm sad about it, but you know, it's kind of
Yeah,
forced my
but
hand really. But it is what it
yeah, but
is.
there'll also be a patch where you will use them again. I think this is what we
Yeah.
forget. Like there will be a patch where you will use them again. So not really concerned about that, to be honest, because what did Crotter says? Can you confirm Trax Legacy? Trax is not getting an event. He will go into the web store as an exclusive. And then he will come into a 5-star batch. So yes, no, he's not staying in the web store forever. I am also speaking to our brilliant and amazing live ops team to see if, because we know that some people can't access the web store, and we are talking about the 1% now. We really are talking about the 1%. We are seeing what we can do there as well. Seriously, we really are talking about the 1%. It really is that small of a player base. But you know, I know there's somebody probably in the chat going, "I'm that 1%." I know we're trying. We really are trying to open up the store in as many areas as we can. But it comes down to licensing as well. It's not just like Neon, who's our web store provider. They go, "Hey guys, you know, we've opened up this country, you know, that we've never heard of before. Sorry. Do you want to sell your stuff in there?" And then we have to look at all the tax implications, and we have to ask Asbro. It's really not as straightforward as, oh, let's just sell in that country. So we're trying. We're really trying. But we're still,
Okay.
like Callum said, we're still fighting for that 1%. You know, we're still sending messages going, are you going to be opening up in this country? Not because we want more money. We know the better deals on there, right, for players. So we want to help them.
Okay. And I'm going to give a bit of a strange shout out here now. I can't believe,
Oh,
I believe I'm saying this actually. Well,
oh
part of it,
no.
yeah. I do want to give a shout out to. So I know Q's been helping with the bundles, but obviously Hyro as well. The bundles have been a lot better recently. A lot better. You know, we always make jokes at Hyro's expense about him being money grabbing and being out of touch with the community and things like that. But I will say there's been quite a few bundles really that I've spent money on to the point where I'm like, I spent too much this month.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, the track's 5-star. I thought it'd be more
I
money.
did. I thought it was
I'll be
$100.
honest.
I
I'll be
did.
honest. I mean, fair play to Cube and Hyro. When they told me, I was like, oh, okay. I just almost like was just trying not to compose myself with laughter because I knew how much of a win it kind of was. And if I gave that away, Hyro would go, "Is it too cheap, Dale?" I'm joking. He probably
He
would have
probably
said
would.
that. I'm just joking. But no, I mean, like you said, our live ops team have been killing it. I will also tell you,
Yeah.
Cube's first event. I remember very fondly of Cube coming to this game. Cube actually used to work on Rival Kingdoms. He did a great job running that game for so many years. In fact, he single-handedly ran that game for so many years. So we're actually really lucky to have him. So thank God he decided to come back to us. The one thing I remember of Cube is his Easter event. Do you remember the Easter event where you had to collect all them little eggs? That was
I
Cube.
like that, you know. I said that
It
to
was
you.
that was
When they did
Cube.
this Easter event, I was like, I wanted like the old Easter event.
Yeah, the
That was
Easter
really
event. Yeah.
good. That's
Oh,
what I mean, though. I
it
just
was
have some
good.
fresh ideas, something new every time. Just think like, you know, what can we do a bit different? You know, I think we get stale sometimes, whether it's
I loved
the
it.
same bundles, whether it's the same events, whether it's the same bots being
Yeah.
used, and
Well,
you
do you
get
know
into a
what?
point where you start looking at other games. You're like, you know what, I'm bored of this, and it's happened to me, to be fair. And I got to a point where I was buying the battle pass, and that was it.
Yeah.
I weren't buying cells. I weren't competing in endurance events. And do you know what? The legacy bots started getting better. I started competing in legacy events. The bundles have started getting better. I've started buying bundles. The endurance events need to be a bit better. They did well with the last one, but now the endurance bots need to be better. And you'll see people spend it. Dead simple. And I think
Yeah,
that should be I think the
that,
big focus over the next obviously few months now, 6 months for me is the next. Obviously, we'll fixing the nerfs and things like that. The big
sorry.
update, getting this war rework in. That's the big one. And I think just getting some fresh content in, no matter what
Yeah.
that might be.
Sorry, Darkland says I still have 2 of the eggs.
What?
I don't know what we do about that, Darklance. I might have to ask you if we could nicely open the egg shop as it was, and maybe we've forgotten. But no, do you know what that event actually said to me is it would be so cool if maybe we didn't do the egg thing because that was great and that's kind of an Easter thing anyway. Is if we had like do that again, but not have an egg. Replace it with like something else, and have like you collect these in the event, and then you just go buy your rewards. Even if we did like one
Yeah.
every, it would just be so cool if you could just collect something and then use them points to buy things. And that event was like, oh my god, we could just make one power core, then buy it in wherever. I think it was in the Shannock store, was it? I think we did it.
Yeah.
Can't remember, but it was just like it was brilliant. It was great. It was a great event. Yeah, so I'm not knocking you, Cube. I actually really did like the event. It was great.
I know some games that have a lot of shops. Like I play Marvel Strike Force.
I'm just doing something for 1 second. Sorry.
I play Marvel Strike Force, and they've got so many different little shops with resources, and it's the same sort of thing. You get these resources, and then you literally pick out what you want to buy with it, and there's so many things to buy. It's just your choice, basically. So, yeah. I think Dale's just gone picking his nose.
No, I haven't. Give me 1 sec.
I hate to think what you're doing.
I am changing my aircon unit. Just give me 1 sec.
Jackson said Dale's gone behind a paywall. I'll give him that. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll give him that one.
I'm back now. Sorry. Where was we?
Well, I've got a super chat.
Go ahead.
So, any word on HQ19? When is it coming? And Buff the Huff.
I mean, people keep saying, why didn't you wait for this patch to be HQ19? And my
Yeah.
answer to that is, it's still a long way off. We're still a long way. Put it this way. I feel like you should be saying that on the next balance patch we do in December, because we'll be more closer to HQ19 then than we are now. Crosser is saying, "Oh no, after GTA."
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. All I can tell you is a new building went into. I don't really want to leak it, but a new building went into playtest today. Doesn't mean HQ19 is any closer. It just means we're just testing concepts. That's okay. I don't think that concept might be the end product that ends in the game, but this is what we're doing. We've got a lot of time now where even if it comes at the end of the year, we're testing concepts. We're testing things. I mean, look, anything.
Right, can I just say, in your
let me-
defense, I knew a new building was coming. They said that on the stream.
Yeah, I mean,
They
we
said
it
a
on the
new. They
stream
didn't say
anyway.
anything about it, but they did
Yeah,
say.
yeah. We said it on the stream. We said it on
did
the stream,
say.
so everyone knows anyway. But all I say is, I feel like it'll be nice to clarify anyway. Is concept like what you see is probably not what's going to get released, because the designers are taking this time where they go, well, we've got time until HQ19. We're still some time away. Let's just put something in there, get them testing something, and if they don't like it, we've got time to change it. And guess what? I absolutely agree with them. I think that's absolutely, exactly what they should be doing. Putting it in testing early. Even we don't even know the release date. We're still like away. To be fair, I'm quite surprised it's in test myself. I'm not criticizing the team. I actually agree with them, but I'm surprised that they put it in this early because it's not something we usually do.
We've not had 18.4 yet. To be fair,
we haven't. I don't know what's happening with that. Maybe we won't do it, but I'm just thankful the team putting things in test a lot earlier, and they're actually catching up with content. We can see that now we're starting to bring in bots and testing earlier. We're starting to do things earlier. Obviously, we've got another feature that we wanted to do in 2 weeks, but we decided to have more time. The team are making decisions, so we have, we can polish things, we can make things better. We've even, I think one of the reasons that Yannis said, which actually quite surprised me, was, let's take it into test so we've got time to change things. Absolutely brilliant. Music to Mindcalm's ears, to be honest, when we hear things like that, because that's exactly what we should be saying.
Yeah.
The first thing when we get the design team probably hate us as well. because they'll bring a concept in, when they have this idea, and we go, well, when can we tell the players? We haven't built anything yet, and me and Callum were already like, when can we tell the players? When do we get them in? Because they're gonna have a lot of feedback on this. Can we get them in and get feedback? So yeah, they must hate us by now, but who cares? I mean, who cares? We love the team, but we love the players as well, and we always are trying to champion what your thoughts are, and what you want in the game as well.
So I'm gonna speak for you and go out on a limb. So we can expect a new building. We have no idea what that is at all. We can expect
Well, I mean,
another. Well, hang
yeah,
on.
but
So
even
I
if it
think we can
gets leaked,
expect.
yeah,
I
but
know,
even if
but
it gets leaked, I would say just don't even. It's concept. So yeah, it's concept.
yeah. Well, you guys said a while ago when we was queuing, we were questioning Yanis, and he said we're looking into a new building for HQ19. That was no
Yeah.
quiet. That was no secret. It wasn't like I don't think it's public knowledge. And everyone spoke about it, but we did it at the time. We did mention it in a stream. So we were always expecting it. I was expecting a new building anyway. I'm expecting a new MDS attachment. You have to agree with that because there's an
I've
empty
got no
space for
idea.
it. We can obviously expect another Titan this year. We're obviously expecting another Combiner this year. We can expect a HQ 19 increase in HP and DPS. After that, not a clue, I think. But I just hope that HQ 19 brings something a bit different. I've said that about HQ 17, didn't happen. HQ 18 didn't happen. Just a big HP and DPS increase. I think we just need to be a bit more inventive
Yeah,
with some things.
what I will say about this new feature that I've seen, and I'm not leaking anything, I've not told anybody anything.
Well, you are right
is
now, but
I am right now. When look, okay, I'm not leaking anything, and people are like, typical Dale here, oversharing, and Cube's probably going to tell Yanis that Dale's told the players everything. Don't Cube, I'm behaving.
you're gonna get banned from these streams,
I'm
at
sick.
this
I
rate.
am going to get banned. What I will say is this feature, I've not seen it for weeks. I'd been away, I'd been to Portugal, I went away and just rested up a little bit and came back, and the team had made so much progress on this feature. And I must say, I'm like, what they can do is very different to what we've done before. And I know people go typical Dale making these statements again and blah 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 blah. This time I'm actually really impressed of what this thing can do, and how the team are doing it is just like wow. Like I did enjoy that the gameplay aspect of this thing. I loved it. So yeah, I'm just excited for people to see what they can do. A little bit different to a combiner, but very interesting. That's all I say. But I love it. I think the team are doing a great job. We've got somebody new called. I'm not going to give you his name actually because he probably wants to remain anonymous. But we've just hired somebody really new, and he's just really good at what he's doing. He's doing a great job. So yeah,
You got to tell
I'm
me something though.
super excited.
Is it an old new person or a new person?
New person, which
Okay,
makes it even better because they've just slotted in like it's just perfect, really. Yeah, we couldn't steal everybody from Space Ape, sadly. So we did need to recruit new people. But what he's doing with this feature is absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
Let me read what Grind Time says.
You need to because this question gets asked a lot from Grind Time.
Oh,
This
no.
comes from his streaming days. You probably heard it before.
Yeah, Dale, great job on all the reworking, and thank you all for your hard work and dedication. No problem, Grind Time. Now, two things. When will you open up more research slots at a different cost, if any? Well, I'm going to loop that over back to Cube. Cube, if you're here, when do we get a new research slot? To be fair, I don't think it's up to live ops, if I'm quite honest.
It's not
I think
20
it's more...
quid. That was expensive as well for a research slot. That's another high roll for you.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, price-wise, I mean, what do you do at this point? Do you make it cheaper?
Make it £5 a slot and open up 10 slots.
Yeah, but let's say
$50 for all the slots, but you get 10 slots for it. Do it, honestly.
Yeah, but at this point, right, when you make content 20, let's say the research slot that you just mentioned, and you say it's too expensive, well, what do you do at this point? Do you make it cheaper and then just alienate everybody who bought it? Yeah, but everybody's bought it.
But everyone bought it 3 years ago when it was overpriced, not now.
I guess it has been some time, but it is something that everybody needs. But yeah, I mean, we can raise it again. Of course we can. And I think I missed another question: is when will you remove the timer from combiners and make it so we can activate more than one at a time? still just combine a per attack, but you can choose between them. I like that idea. I think that would be pretty cool, especially now we're encouraging, right? Use more combiners. It would be nice if you could use
I've
multiple, but
never
I don't even.
understood things that restrict your play. I understand about making people like fuel cells, things like that. I understand all this. I don't understand research
Yeah.
slots. You're slowing people's use to bots down. I've never understood about research slots. Like, I don't know. You can't make that much money off research slots, surely.
I'll be honest, I've never checked.
I'd be interested to know how much money you've made off research slots.
I mean, I don't. I mean, people. I don't go into work every day and go, "Oh my god, how much did we make on the
But this way,
research
whatever
slot
the amount is, I bet Cheetos paid half of it.
No, I've not looked. I've really not looked. I honestly I don't know how many people own that slot. I think that would be quite interesting to know. So yeah, I wouldn't know. But would we get more? Maybe potentially. I mean, I can only talk about my experience in the game. And when I joined the game 5 years ago, people said, "Well, we're not going to get any more research slots," and long and behold, we did. So I'm still going to
I think it was
probably
thanks
say
to you
now.
pushing for it. You pushed for it a lot on stream.
Can we get? Well, I mean, yeah, they're probably sick of me asking the question at that point, right? They're like,
Yeah.
well, whatever, just give them it.
Hang on,
Um,
didn't you have a bet with or something and you had a you if they won, you got an extra research slot. Do I
can't
remember that
remember.
correctly on the stream?
I can't remember. I mean, well, yeah, maybe. No, I think we rolled the wheel, didn't we? I put it in the.
That rings a bell, yeah.
I think I put it in the
And
Christmas
they
wheel.
and they won a
You know,
research slot.
they want a research slot. It's just silly
We should
stuff
do
like
that
that,
next
right?
time you're on, Honestly, that'd be great. Honestly, like the next upgrade to come and put it on a wheel, we can agree it and then do it live on stream. That was good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that. It was good.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's also good, and also Glenn is there saying, "Why does it cost so much to swap out cores and combats? How to experiment when it costs millions of energon to do so?" I also think that's a good point as well.
I
It's
don't know.
Yeah, but no, it is. It is a good point because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I've just literally gone onto your stream and I said this is a strategy game. Part of a strategy game is also changing cores and combats and different
I
kinds of
know, but
strategy.
the problem
Yeah,
is that you have. Oh, if that's the case, well, I said to you earlier about using
yeah.
the same 8 bots on every single base. Then you're going to say use the same combats on every single base because you can't. If you're spending the
Yeah,
cores for nothing, then you're just going to go, oh, them thingies can go on those bots and that's that. So there's a bit of
Yeah, but
strategy involved in putting like what combat on what bot and going that suits that bot, and might not be your most powerful one, but it suits that bot more. But rather than just going them bots, them cores, I'm going to use them 8 cores on every single base, even if you use 20 bots.
Yeah,
Makes
but you should
sense.
lock things like that. For example, if you put it on a bot, it should be locked for 24 hours or whatever. So you can't do that.
No,
So
that's
I feel like,
worse.
yeah, but
That's a lot
you should
worse
be.
because then when
Yeah,
I'm
but
leveling and I want to take a core off to put an XP core on, I can't.
yeah, well, that's obviously I can't give you a solution in a 5-minute discussion. That's why we have designers like Sam and Fabian, who also are the masterminds behind things like
Yeah.
that. But I also agree that we are a strategy game, and can we do more to help people switch things up? Which we are asking Cube and Hyro, who are in the chats, and they're also like thinking and discussing like, is there anything that we could do where we can help people just maybe catch up because people are experiencing a lot of team changes and things. Maybe I know Cube's definitely looking into it. No promises that he can do anything, but we're definitely like asking the question, which I think is the most important thing. Is we're asking the question. What will the answer be? I don't know, but we're certainly asking the question because that's what the players are asking for.
Okay. Well, I think we'll end it there, guys. But don't worry.
Wow, it's 11:30. I did not even realize it's 11:30.
Yeah,
Wow,
it goes quick.
well, I hope I answered everything. Yeah, I appreciate the time on the stream. Thank you for hosting this, and thank you
Yeah,
to
appreciate you
everybody for
coming
tuning in.
Appreciate the
Yeah,
guys
no
even
problem.
tuning in as well. And I'll see you in 10 days.
Oh yes, we're going to TF Nation.
10
Yes,
days. I'll see Callum as well. Yeah, 10
yes.
days. So
So
I am going to vlog it. I'm trying to work out a way how I can do it live. I don't know if I can, but I am going to at least video it at the very least. I've got a little selfie stick. So yeah, I got a video of the day. If I can do it live, then great. I need to look into it. I've never done that before. I don't know how I can record it and put it into my channel live. I'll have to look. But if I can, I will.
yeah, I mean,
But yeah.
I want to take some. I'm trying to take some posters so I can get them signed by Simon Furman and some other Transformers legends who are going there. Maybe we can give them out on the day, not on the day, but like when I come home, we can give them out. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. So yeah, we're going to be at TF Nation on Saturday and Sunday. Come and say hello if you're there. Let's not talk about the balance patch though when we're there though.
I think we had not to.
Hopefully, we've made a few changes before then. Hopefully, you're giving me a high five that we got it right in the end. So yeah, super. I think you had a super chat as well. If you
Yeah, I
wanted
should
to
have put
go
this dead
over
quick.
that. Yeah,
So
sure. Let's go.
Pjuvagis, I think that's right. Let's put, can you help out higher level players that no longer have a use for alloy, combiner spark, prime cores, building skips, and base defense cores? I will say, I still need combiner spark. I will say that. That's the only spark that I do need. I've actually run out of it, but then I do have a lot of spark in reserve. To be fair, but I'm a hoarder. Building skips will be used at HQ19. You'll need your alloy and energon. I had so much alloy and energon at HQ17 and HQ18 come out, and I literally ran out. And I've been saving ever since. So you are going to use it for that. Prime cores, I believe there's going to be a use for them, but I don't want Dale to maybe get in trouble. Maybe he knows, I don't know. But
I mean, I would always say for Prime Shaz. I mean, maybe we'll. I mean, I always say it. Just save them, right? I mean,
if you don't need it, save it. That's what I always say. And I think there's been so much feedback from players saying, like, can we have a use of prime cores? That I think there's going to be a use of prime cores. It might be something crappy like resources. I hope not. It might be something good. But hey,
well, isn't that just a challenging thing though? This is the thing that Hyro and Cube have to deal with every single week when they make an event. Is we've just literally had a discussion how we've just gone to Cube and Hyro and said they need more resources. And then we've just had a super chat who goes to someone, I don't need any of these anymore. It's crazy the type of players that we have to like look at, we have to consider. And I'll be honest, I don't envy Cube and Hyro's job at all because I feel like a lot of people will probably ask them, oh, can we have more of this spark in the event? And they put it in, and then somebody will pop on Discord and go, damn, what a bad event. There's no combat spark. And it's just like they're always fighting with these kind of conversations all the time. And it's just like this, just everybody needs something different. And I think that's what we also need to appreciate and understand as well, is when we're playing this game, everybody's at a different part of their journey in the game. You're at a much different journey than somebody else. And many, events are always tailored to different people who require different things.
What are use of crystals? There's plenty of top players got plenty of crystals.
Well, I will tell you for HQ19 that we're bringing out new crystals. So all the crystals you've got now, any of the new content that comes in HQ19 is not going to be obtainable to your current crystals because we're going to rename them to HQ18 crystals.
19, you mean?
18. So all the crystals you've got now will become HQ18 crystals. So you'll only be able to get content from HQ18 and below. And then when we release HQ19, we're going to release new crystals so you can get HQ19 specific content from them. So I wouldn't save them.
I don't know how I feel about that. But
I'm joking. I'm
I was about to say, I'm already thinking about ways around this. I'm already thinking about ways around this.
Amy Q's in the chat going, wait, what?
I missed that, chat. Did I miss a memo? Did I miss that?
No, we're not doing that. Definitely not doing it.
Okay.
BG says you had me. I always come on the stream. I have to get one troll in. Grind time. I always have to get one troll in at least. So yeah, thank you again, everybody. I hope we touched on everything. Yes, we know we need to do a little bit more work, but we are definitely dedicated to doing that. I hope you don't have too many struggles in the event. We will be watching in great detail because it's going to be a good blueprint. As much it is gonna, I hope it's not too bad. And if we need to step in, we will.
Anyway.
So Callum said +1 troll and 2 damning leaks.
I don't think they're that bad leaks. I don't think so.
No.
I think we knew one already, honestly. I don't think it's public knowledge as much, but...
No. But we are working on things, which is good.
Yeah. And lastly, Grind Time's trolling me, just saying, I'm sending this just to make you have to read it and take longer. It's because I have to read super chats. Kind of my little rule. So yeah. But yo, big thanks to Dale. I think obviously he's coming under a lot of fire in the last day or two. I think it's quite brave of him to come on a channel like this, and then
No,
obviously,
I mean, the
he
one
could have
thing I
easily
hate.
avoided it.
Yeah, but I hate playing my games when they do stuff like this and they never talk. So I like to talk about it because I'm going to tell you what we're thinking and what we're going to do about it. And that's what we're going to do about it. You know, we're not all talk. We're actually going to act on it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So yeah, let me just read some of the last saying. Says, I will say that I've never seen a company never speak to the community as much as this, especially the developers. Yep. Well, I hope so. Yeah, I hope we like talk to you. Callum is also in the chat as well, and Bobby, and they also do some great work. It's not just me, by the way, as well. Of course, big shout outs to them as well. Dartlance and Cube, but I'm chatting out the PX people, Cube, even though Cube was technically XPX, but he's a bit of a traitor because he went to Live Ops. We won't talk about that. Dartlance says, thanks for the work on cleaning up the game. No problem, Dartlance. We'll get there in the end. What else is going on there? Callum saying I've got trolling and things. What's this? Bobby's in the chat. I think that's everybody. I think
Okay.
that's it. So yeah, thank you
All right.
everybody again.
Right. Thanks for watching, guys, and goodbye, losers.
You said it, not me. I can't believe you said that.